In the heart of Chicago, there's a historic apartment building with a story that chills its residents to the bone. It's about an old, ornate elevator, the kind with a brass gate and velvet benches. A beautiful piece of history, but it holds a secret. Every single night, without fail, at exactly 11:11 p.m., this elevator has a peculiar quirk. It completely skips the 7th floor. No matter who presses the button, no matter if they're going up or down, the moment the clock strikes 11:11, the 7 button goes dark, and the elevator glides right past, as if the floor doesn't exist. Residents got used to it. It became a local legend, a fun little ghost story to tell new tenants. "Oh, that's just the 11:11 glitch," they'd say with a shrug. "Don't try to get to 7 at that time, just wait a minute, or take the stairs." Most people found it amusing, a harmless eccentricity of an old building. They'd joke about what could possibly be on the 7th floor that the elevator was so determined to avoid. Was it a ghost? A time warp? A secret society? The theories were endless and always good for a laugh. The building management had looked into it, of course. Electricians and elevator technicians were called in multiple times. They ran diagnostics, checked the wiring, and inspected the control panel. Their conclusion was always the same: nothing was wrong. The elevator was in perfect working order. They couldn't explain the phenomenon, eventually labeling it an intermittent, unreplicable anomaly. And so, life went on. The elevator continued its nightly ritual, and the residents of the building continued to live with their little piece of the paranormal. On August 3, 2018, a young couple, Liam and Chloe, were heading back to their apartment on the 10th floor. They'd just returned from a late dinner, laughing and talking as they stepped into the lobby. The grandfather clock near the entrance was chiming, its deep tones echoing through the quiet space. They glanced at their phones. 11:10 p.m. Just in time for the show, Liam joked, pressing the button for the elevator. The doors creaked open, and they stepped inside the familiar, plush-carpeted car. Liam pressed the 10 button. The gate slid shut, and the elevator began its slow, steady ascent. They passed the 2nd floor, then the 3rd. As they rose, Chloe leaned against the polished wood wall, looking at their reflection in the large, slightly warped mirror that covered the back of the car. Liam was fixing his hair, and she was smiling at him. The indicator light glowed for the 4th, then the 5th, then the 6th floor. They watched the clock on Liam's phone tick over to 11:11 p.m. This was the moment. They expected the elevator to do what it always did: skip the 7th floor and head straight for the 8th. But tonight was different. Instead of continuing its journey upward, the elevator shuddered to a halt. A soft, unexpected ding echoed in the small space. Liam and Chloe exchanged a confused look. They both glanced at the floor indicator panel above the door. The number 7 was lit up, glowing with a steady, eerie light. It had never done this before. Not for them, not for anyone. The stories, the jokes, the building's little quirk, it was all supposed to be a predictable, harmless ritual. But this was a break in the pattern. An icy silence fell between them, thick with a sudden, unspoken dread. Why, after all these years, had the elevator decided to stop tonight? And why for them? They held their breath, their eyes locked on the closed brass gate, waiting. A heavy, mechanical clunk signaled that the doors were about to open. They were about to see what was on the 7th floor at 11:11 p.m. The heavy brass gate slowly, deliberately, slid open. The inner doors parted with a soft whoosh, revealing the 7th floor landing. Liam and Chloe squinted into the hallway, but it looked normal. The same patterned carpet, the same sconces on the wall, the same faint scent of old wood and polish. There was nothing there, just an empty, silent corridor. A wave of relief washed over them, mixed with a hint of disappointment. Well, that was anticlimactic. Liam chuckled, his voice a little shaky. Guess the ghost is on vacation. Chloe laughed, a nervous sound. Maybe we should just... Before she could finish her sentence, they saw it. Two figures were standing at the far end of the hallway, just stepping out of the stairwell door. They began walking towards the open elevator, their footsteps silent on the thick carpet. As they drew closer, moving out of the shadows and into the dim light of the landing, a horrifying realization dawned on Liam and Chloe. The man had Liam's face, his build, his exact clothes. The woman walking beside him was a perfect double of Chloe, right down to the small, silver necklace she was wearing. They were watching themselves walk towards the elevator. But it wasn't a reflection. These things were solid. They moved with a chillingly blank expression, their eyes empty and fixed straight ahead. The couple in the elevator was frozen in sheer terror, unable to scream, unable to move. It felt like watching a movie of themselves, but one where the actors were hollow shells. Their doubles reached the elevator entrance and stopped, standing just outside the threshold. They didn't try to get in, they just stood there, staring. Not at Liam and Chloe, but asterisk through asterisk them, at the mirror on the back wall of the car. It was as if the real Liam and Chloe weren't even there. The Chloe double raised a hand and tucked a stray strand of hair behind her ear, a gesture the real Chloe had made just moments before. The Liam double adjusted his collar, a perfect mimicry of what the real Liam had done. They were perfect copies, silent and unnerving. Then, the elevator doors began to close. The brass gate slid shut, obscuring the silent, staring figures in the hallway. The inner doors followed, and for a terrifying second, Liam and Chloe were trapped in the box, their hearts pounding in their chests. The elevator gave another lurch and resumed its journey upward, as if nothing had happened. It passed the 8th floor, the 9th, and then stopped smoothly at their floor, the 10th. The doors opened to their familiar, safe hallway. They scrambled out, not looking back, fumbling for their keys with trembling hands. They burst into their apartment, slammed the door, and locked every bolt they had. They didn't speak for what felt like an eternity, just stood there, gasping for air, trying to process the impossible thing they had just witnessed. They never used that elevator again. They moved out a month later, unable to shake the feeling of being watched, of knowing that their doubles were somewhere in that building. The story spread, no longer a fun little quirk, but a terrifying warning. And it left everyone with a chilling thought. When your reflection leaves the mirror, it doesn't just disappear. It takes your place. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more strange tales. We'll see you in the next one.